How do I begin to describe Sam DeCoste? I mean, he's Sam DeCoste.
Sam DeCoste wears his headphones 24/7, so now I wear my headphones 24/7.
I heard his cataract sunglasses are actually Prada.
One time, Sam DeCoste stopped the green line with one hand and survived.
One time, Sam ran me over with his motorized scooter. It was awesome.
Now, I heard that Michael Jordan owes Sam DeCoste money.
I once heard Sam DeCoste, he got ice cream with the President of the United States. Yeah, he's tight with Joe.
Sam DeCoste was the only 5-year-old to win an Emmy.
I heard Sam DeCoste has the best journalistic objectivity in the business. He's not a homer whatsoever.
Sam is such a great dancer. I'm so jealous of him.
I hear Sam got Mott's apple juice to sponsor the box score.
Whoa. Hey.
I heard that Sam DeCoste is a Jets fan.
Hey, I heard that Sam got real professional athletes for his own shit.
Really?
Yeah. Jack Hughes, Colin Sexton, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Peyton Manning, Dwayne "The Rocka" Johnson.
Sam told us to get nose piercings?
So we got nose piercings. I hear that Sam DeCoste wears these giant headphones because he has super hearing. Now I wear giant headphones. I heard Sam DeCoste burnt his retinas saving children from a burning building, and that's why he wears these giant sunglasses.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Box Score. I am your host for the last time, Sam DeCoste. Here to remind you that Alvaro Morata has as many goals in the World Cup as Kylian Mbappe. And we're thrilled to be here with you tonight live on YouTube for our season finale. We start tonight in Qatar, where the theatrical drama of the World Cup reached an all-time high today on the penultimate day of the group stage. And the dust has settled in Group E, which features two of the last three World Cup champions, Spain and Germany. But the group didn't turn out exactly how we thought it would. Germany, the 2014 winners, are going home. Spain, the 2010 winners, have to settle for second place. And Japan, perhaps the story of the World Cup so far, they are moving on as group winners after their win over Spain. They also defeated Germany in their opening day. Allow me to welcome in my crew of World Cup experts, Jeff Grundy, Danielle DuBois, and Matt Doherty. Now, Jeff, over to you first. It's tough to identify a starting point in all the drama we saw today, but Germany, they're out in the group stage of the World Cup for the second consecutive tournament.
Which is tough because Jamal Musiala was that guy. I mean, with Bayern, 14 games, 9 goals. He scored multiple times. I mean, I was so bummed out that they kind of let him down. No Royce, no Werner. I mean, there's no attacking presence for that German team.
Matt?
Yeah, I mean, look, Sam, there is no way around it. This is a historically embarrassing moment for this historically successful soccer culture in Germany. There's no other way around it. This was horrible for them.
They had no excuses. They had no excuses for this.
Danielle.
Yeah, it's really interesting because we've seen such a rich history from this team before, and then they come in, immediately lose to Japan, which is an awful way to start off their World Cup run, and then they drew to Spain, which is okay. You thought they can rebound a little bit. They won against Costa Rica, which is great, but it just was not enough for them to succeed this World Cup.
Now, in life, there's 3 guarantees: death, taxes, and a Germany semifinal in the World Cup. Before 2014, when they won the whole thing, they made 4 straight semifinal appearances, 8 consecutive trips to the quarterfinals, and now back-to-back exits in the group stage. What's happened to this Germany side? This is not the Germany we were used to, but maybe this is the Germany that is going to stick around.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is a team that did not play Kai Havertz enough. And I mean, as I said before, no Royce, no Werner, no Hummels. I mean, these are players with championship pedigrees who are left off because Hansi Flick doesn't see it in them.
And that could be, oh, sorry, Matt, go ahead.
No, I totally agree. And in my opinion, it's arrogance from the German soccer side. I mean, they're so, like you said, historically dominant that they think they can win these games in ways where you just can't. Hansi Flick, why aren't you playing Kai Havertz more? He came on today and was the most electric and dangerous player on the field as soon as he stepped on. It's ridiculous to think that you can just play a certain way, and it's just not going to work against these teams that are good like Japan.
Now let's move on to Spain. They opened the tournament with a 7-0 win over Costa Rica. It looked like they were maybe the favorites to win the whole tournament, but then they drew with Germany, and then they lost to Japan after blowing a lead. Have we been duped? Is Spain an imposter in this World Cup?
I think at the end of the day, it comes to inexperience. I mean, we're talking about a team that has Gavi, 18, Pedri, 19. I mean, Gavi, 14 games with Barca right now. He has 0 goals. Now, granted, he did score a World Cup goal. That's really important. It's important to boost his confidence. But, I mean, this is a team that chose Ansu Fati and Nico Williams over Ramos, Piqué, and David Silva. I mean, you're just leaving legends out, and it's a bit of a bummer.
And this is a possession-based team. They love having the ball, they love passing the ball around, having 80% possession during the game. And they had the lead. And you think when Spain go up, they're going to hold on to the ball and the opponent will have nothing left. But this team was lousy in midfield. Pedri and Gavi gave it away lousily. And Japan, a young, hungry team, dominated the midfield and blew everything up.
Look, I'm a massive fan of Luis Enrique, but we need to pump the brakes on the Xavi and Iniesta comparisons when it comes to Pedri and Gavi. They just aren't there yet. They're 18 and 19 years old. We need to settle down. This team is good, but just like Jeff was saying, very inexperienced, so I worry.
Let's move on to Belgium, another team that is out in the group stage. Belgium were 3rd place in the World Cup just 4 years ago, but now they're going home after 3 games as well. Jeff, what happened to Belgium? This is the golden generation of Belgium. This is their only chance. There's the standings right there. They couldn't beat Croatia or Morocco, and they're going home.
Well, one thing I want to start with here is that we got to end all this hate coming at Romelu Lukaku. I mean, this is a man who was...
Did you watch what happened at the end of the game today in the second half?
I know. It's because he was injured. He had a thigh problem all year. He hasn't played a full 90 back at Inter. I mean, this is the king of Milan we're talking about. Back when he won the Serie A MVP, he's scoring 24 goals, 11 assists in 36 matches. He won them the Serie A title. He's a Serie A MVP. We need to start blaming these trash wingers. I'm looking at the Hazard brothers, a real hazard on the field. Eden hasn't scored since Madrid in 2020. He hasn't scored the ball. I mean, this is a guy who shouldn't be on the field, and he wasn't on the field. They put his younger brother on the field, who's even worse. Thurgood, trash. He scored last year. I mean, I have no idea why this Belgium side is turning to these 2 brothers.
I mean, look, Jeff, I am all for the Lukaku love. That's my guy, right? But at the end of the day, when we talk about this Belgium team and we talk about historically disappointing sports teams, this needs to be damn near the top of the list. I mean, they had a golden generation from 2014 to now, and the repeating disappointments on the grandest stage, like the World Cup and the Euros, they need to be held accountable. They are insanely disappointing.
And Roberto Martinez is out as manager. The clock has struck midnight on Belgium. This is the first time since 1998 they will not be playing in the knockout stages of the World Cup. And they only scored 1 goal in the entire group stage, and it was Michy Batshuayi, of all players, after being the highest scoring team in Russia 4 years ago.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm gonna keep throwing the blame. It's those trash wingers, and they have a defensive-focused midfield. Now, you heard me right. I just said a defensive-focused midfield with Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, come on.
All right, lastly, we have France, the defending champions. And so far in the World Cup, if any team looks like one of the favorites, it might be the team that won the World Cup 4 years ago. They're hoping to become only the third team ever to repeat as World Cup champions. They topped Group D. They beat Australia and Denmark. They lost to Tunisia after starting some players that are on their bench. But Matt, France look as strong and as scary as they've ever looked.
Look, you can try to nitpick things about France, but in my opinion, they have this sort of quality. It's like a puncher. They have a puncher's chance at any given moment to score a goal, and that's with number 10, Kylian Mbappe. He is so fast and so dynamic, especially when he gets that ball at his feet. He can score at any given moment, besides the fact that they're an incredibly well-rounded team. To have that on your team, I mean, there's not many teams I like more right now than France.
And Danielle, they're doing it without Pogba or Conte. The injury bug has been an issue.
It's absolutely insane because going into this, we all thought that France was going to be extremely really disappointing based off of their extreme experience that we've seen before and the injuries coming across them. But we still have Giroud, Mbappe, Mbele, Griezmann, still an incredible team that puts up many goals.
I mean, Kylian Mbappe will continue to surprise me. I mean, this man runs at 22.4 miles per hour. He's faster than a Volkswagen Passat out here on the field. He is running so fast, he's passing all these defenders. Yes, granted, France is missing Nkunku. He scored 12 in his last 15 games. Pogba's seeing ghosts and getting curses put on him by his own brother. I mean, come on, this team is going through a lot. But they're winning, and that's all that matters.
Now, this French team, 4 years ago, only scored 11 goals, 4 of which were penalties. But this year, listen, the French attack, they're like a Ferrari in LA traffic. 4 years ago, they were stuck in traffic, but this offense is meant to be flying high on the freeway, and that's what they're doing right now. They've scored a whole bunch of goals, and they have to be considered the favorites to win the tournament right now. But that was a good discussion about the World Cup. More on the World Cup later in the show. Now we're going to head to commercial, but when we come back, we move back to the States, to the NBA, and we'll give you our way too early MVP predictions. Who will it be? Jayson Tatum or Luka Doncic? We'll dish it out after the break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Box Score live.
When I arrive at my destination, I am gonna kill Bill.
God's name is the gaffer's tape.
Hi, I'm Nate.
And I'm Casey, and we're the National Broadcasting Society.
Come out to some of our weekly workshops, or work on some of our sets.
Explore the bigger picture with NBS.
We'll see you there.
All right, let's get another take. Camera, sound.
Welcome back to the Box Score. I'm Sam DeCoste here with my crew, Jeff Grundy, Cam Manning, Matt Doherty, and Faith Pinnow. Happy December 1st, everybody. It's cold outside, so let's turn the heat up in here. A quarter of the NBA season is already in the books, meaning it only makes sense for us to decide here and now who will be the NBA MVP. As it stands, there are two clear frontrunners, Jayson Tatum and Luka Doncic. Faith, you control the floor first. Who do you think is the MVP?
As I like it. I don't even think it's too early to say that my guy, the guy, is Jayson Tatum. And that is solid. That is a box score guarantee. The very
box
first
score
of the
guarantee.
Episode. He is the first player in NBA history to score more than 45 points, have more than 10 rebounds, and have more than 10 rebounds and more than 8 threes in multiple games in the first 20 games of a season, ever. And if that doesn't speak for itself, I don't know what does.
Ever.
He is absolutely killing it. Matt will corroborate this in a moment, but I think that goes without explanation.
The stats are great. The stats are phenomenal.
We love stats on the Box Score.
I
hear too many stats.
I hear too many stats. But you know what I don't hear is that the Mavericks, who do they have beside Luka? No one.
Sorry, you have a
Tim
bad
Hardaway
team.
stinks. Jalen Brunson left in free agency. The Celtics have a great team in Jaylen Brown, Malcolm Brogdon. He has guys that score the ball. My main man Jeff here has some stats for you that will counteract that point. Jeff?
Yeah, current usage rate for Luka Doncic is at 38. That's a number that is only matched by 87 Jordan and 06 Kobe.
Pretty good.
I'm sorry, one of these guys is looking a lot more like those two than the other one, I can tell you that. I mean, not a single other player on the Mavs is within the top 10 of anything.
All right, well, okay, those are great numbers, Jeff. I wasn't really listening. So, so when we talk value, guys, all right, what does value mean within the context of sports and within the context of the NBA? It means winning. It means wins. Value means wins. Guess what? Jayson Tatum's team, the Celtics, are 18-4 right now. Luka's 10-10. All right, and you mentioned his team's apparently horrible without him. Let's look at some players who have left Luka this year. Jalen Brunson averaging about 22 a game. Kristaps having a great season. Do we think that maybe Luka just is not conducive to winning? Is that have you watched Jayson Tatum? Jayson Tatum is the catalyst of the historically best offense in the history of the NBA.
Wait a minute. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes,
They're pumped.
please.
They're pumped. I'm at a stop.
You're stumped?
Stop.
You're stopped?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because Luka Doncic was a dynamite force in the semifinals last year in the Western Conference against the Phoenix Suns team that was ready to go to the NBA Finals, had the best record in the West.
Didn't know we were talking about the MVP of the last year's Western Conference Finals, but please keep going.
Luka Doncic has 4+ more assists than Jayson Tatum on average. He's spreading the ball out more, and his teammates stink. So
51 triple doubles. I'm sorry, 51 triple doubles. Let's count how many Tatum has. One.
Oh, because that's a great stat.
Whoa, that's so crazy.
Since when did MVP become only about the numbers? MVP does not historically go out to the player with the most triple doubles in the league. That's not what it's about.
If I could chime in for a second.
Oh, please do,
now,
Mr. Host.
We do love numbers. I have my calculator out to get all these numbers that we're calculating right now. Let me ask a question. If you're the Celtics, you are the #1 team in the NBA. You have the best record. And, of course, Jayson Tatum is a huge part of that. But he has Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Marcus Smart, Al Horford. Now, the Dallas Mavericks are currently 8th in the Western Conference.
Ooh, that doesn't sound valuable.
But that being said, he has to play a role in making them competitive. So that it feel a little unfair that we're grading the record that the team has.
Sam. Without Luka, the Mavs 0-1.
They're a lottery team. They are a lottery team without Luka.
The Celtics,
lottery team.
The Celtics without Tatum, 1-0. Because you're doing a great job without your most valuable player.
Okay, 1-0. When Steph Curry won MVP in 2014, he had a great team. Should he not have won MVP? It doesn't matter. You have a great team. If you're a phenomenal player, if you're driving your team to winning, you are of value and you should be MVP. I rest my case.
The last MVP to be on the team that won the whole championship was Steph in 2015. Since we've done that, we've given it to Jokic, who can't win a single thing. We've given it to Giannis, who won once. That's great. Let's see him do it again. I mean, come on. This is not how we determine MVP.
How many finals is Luka? We do have to move on. If there's one thing we can agree on, we can't agree on this debate. If Mariah Carey is on the radio, nothing matters. The season doesn't matter right now. We'll check back after Christmas. We're taking another break, but stay right where you are. We're moving to the gridiron. Who's going to the playoffs in the NFL? Who's winning the AFC East? We'll tell you and more after this. You're watching The Box Score Live.
All right, come back in 10 seconds. Ready, camera one. Camera one, get a wide shot of the entire thing, and in 3, 2, 1, take. Talent cue.
Welcome back to Emerson College. Emerson trails
Camera 4, get a shot of the players coming across the court.
10 seconds left. Emerson trails by 1 point. As
Camera 2, close upon the person shooting.
Thanks, Joe. With 10 seconds left, Emerson's hoping to pull away and score this big
Camera 1, get a close up, follow them over.
Emerson trails WPI 10 points. 10 seconds left. Emerson trails by 1 point as the team finishes their timeout.
Camera 1, close up on number 33.
Thanks, Joe. With 10 seconds left, Emerson's hoping to pull away.
Follow the ball, follow the ball.
Welcome back to The Box Score. I'm Sam DeCoste, joined again by Jeff Grundy, Cam Manning, and Danielle DuBois. We're in the final month of the NFL regular season, and 'tis the season for NFL playoff predictions. All 4 of us, including myself, the hostess for the mostest, I think, have put together our predictions for the AFC and NFC playoff standings. We're going to dissect each and every one of these predictions and see whose picture has the best chance of being right come playoff time. Let's go to Danielle's picks first. Let's dissect each and every pick that you have, and here they are on the screen.
Oh, yes. There's a lot going on
There's
here.
a lot going on,
I think the Chiefs will overtake the Bills, and yes, the Jets are going to sneak in there. And
J-E-T-S?
Jets. That's so true. And I think that they will beat the Chargers and make it in there. I think it's really between. Well, honestly, they just have a really great offense, I feel like. And yes, obviously, Zach Wilson is not great. Yes,
the Jets have a great
Okay, let me explain.
Garrett Wilson, Jeff. He's a weapon.
We're
I'm bringing in a new quarterback here, which I know it's a little bit risky, and it may or may not work the way they want, but they still have Wilson, Moore, Davis. It will be
But no Brees Hall. They have the scraps of Doug Peterson.
Better not hear
Jackson,
Corey Davis. Corey Davis's name should not be brought up at all. Excuse me.
They do have a championship caliber defense, and that's been a huge part of why they're 7-4. And it's December. The Jets could make the playoffs. Who would have figured?
You never know. You never know.
But I want to start with the Vikings.
Yes.
Number one seed. The Eagles have the best record in the NFL at 10-1, but you think the Vikings are going to take over?
Yes, I do, and it's not always sunny in Philadelphia, Sam. So they're going to be.
I've watched that show.
That's great. I did not. Now, they're moving down to number 2. Vikings are a great, very complete team. Kirk Cousins is a pretty average quarterback, gonna be honest, but he can get the job done because he has the best wide receiver in the league in Justin Jefferson. And not to mention they have a pretty good defense, and they added TJ Hawkinson to their team.
Yeah.
I would like to add on to that very good defense. Yep.
Yeah. The defense as well. Go ahead. Jeff.
4th in the NFL for tackles for loss. 3 out of their 8 victories were game-sealing takeaways. This is a defense with Pat P. I love Pat P.
He's still
is
playing.
elite now, which is crazy.
And
Zadarius Smith,
9.5 sacks.
Absolutely.
Here's what I'll say on the Vikings. At 1 p.m., they're invincible, unbeatable. Kirk Cousins, when the lights are on in prime time. In his career, when he plays a team with a winning record, his record is 10-40. He doesn't know how to play against winning teams, and when the sun sets, the day of reckoning will come for your Minnesota Vikings.
All he has to do is throw the ball up and let Justin Jefferson catch it.
Now,
he does that
let's go to Cam's
frequently.
picks now. I want to see where Cam's picks differentiate from what we're seeing on the screen right now.
Make sure the camera zooms in and gets
this will be the worst.
Look at this. Look at this. Chiefs,
no, never mind.
Bills, Titans, Ravens. I have the Chargers in my 7th spot because
explain that.
Because Justin Herbert's an elite quarterback and they have elite players all over their roster. I don't care how incompetent Brandon Staley is with his timeouts. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, Mike Williams, Derwin James, Khalil Mack. They added him in the offseason. People don't talk about that as much. Khalil Mack is a game-changing pass rusher for this defense. They have spots all over the field filled with star players. That's why I have them at 7.
I don't trust the Chargers, and here's why. 2 words: Brandon Staley. He's the guy that would forget to turn the oven off, and then by the time he remembers it, Bill Belichick has cleaned the whole house up. No stains in the entire house, because the Patriots, I think, will sneak into that 7th spot personally.
Really? Really? I mean, the Chargers are just dynamite offensively. Justin Herbert hasn't performed as well as I would have liked him to this year so far, but the injuries played to the wide receivers have been a big part of that too.
Now, another thing, in their win against the Cardinals, in which Brandon Staley opted to go for 2 for the win, you know what he said after the game to celebrate? He said, that win smooth like chocolate milk. Well, I think Brandon Staley's reached his sell-by date. I'm not sure if he's the right man for the job in Los Angeles anymore. But the Eagles at number 1, not the Vikings, Cam.
Yes, the Eagles are just like just like the Buffalo Bills of the NFC. They are deep in all 3 positions on the field, or 3 layers of the field, I should say. Both linebacker, defensive end, cornerback. I mean, you have James Bradbury, Darius Slay on that defense is your 1-2 corner combination. That's like A.J. Boye and Jalen Ramsey back when the Jags made it to the AFC Championship.
Let me gush about Jalen Hurts real quick. He has a 107.8 passer rating. That's only behind Tua and Patrick Mahomes and A.J. Brown. Arthur Juan, I mean, what a beautiful wide receiver. 831 yards, 7 touchdowns. He's undefeated.
And who can
Jeff,
forget about
sorry,
Devonta
Cam.
Smith?
Let's stick with Jeff. Let's see your picks now. I can't wait to look at these guys.
So my picks, they're picked on vibes. Because you know what? I'm the vibes king.
What?
Dolphins at number 1.
Dolphins at what?
Dolphins at number 1.
Oh my God.
No, it's 2022, and the Dolphins are doing great. It's a question about firepower. At the end of the day, the team with Tyreek Hill will be the better team. Tyreek Hill is producing at an amazing rate. He's already at 1,233 yards, 4 touchdowns. You're going 4 touchdowns. Jeff, that's not that many touchdowns. Yeah, it's because Jalen Waddle's taking all the rest of them. Jalen is at 963 yards, 6 touchdowns. He's been doing amazing. And let's give it up for the guy who's done it all. It's Tua. I don't need to make a 700 clip video to tell you how good Tua is. I only have to tell you one number, and that's his passer rating. It's at 115.7. He's only behind Patrick Mahomes. And I'll take the team with Tyreek Hill over it.
You think the Bills are going to drop that low, though?
Absolutely.
I can't believe.
You know why? Because the Ravens are going to start doing better. The Titans are on their way up.
No.
I'm happy that the Jets are there. I think
Jeff,
they might make it.
Now, also the Washington Football Corporation here at 7, that's notable. I want to highlight the Dolphins because I'm taking this very personally. Fun facts, there are 8 noble gases in the universe. You have helium, neon, argon, kryptonite, xenon, oxygen, radon, and the hot air coming out of your mouth right now. This Dolphins team has to march into Buffalo in December, a place they haven't won since 2016, to get the #1 seed over the Chiefs. I cannot get over this.
Give me 2 hand warmers. Give me 2 hand warmers in my jacket, and I'll beat the Bills. Give me 2 hand warmers and a glove.
Jeff, you see my notes here? They've beaten.
I do. I see a bunch of scribbles. What is this?
Lions, Bears, Steelers.
Is that a sunflower on there?
It's not a sunflower. No, listen, their opponents have been terrible. They played some of the worst offenses in the NFL. I'm sorry, this is complete hogwash. I'll tell you who's going to make the #1 seed in my playoff picks, and I'll just start right away with the Buffalo Bills. There they are. They have the head-to-head over the Chiefs already.
I agree.
The Chiefs aren't going to keep winning forever. The Chiefs aren't going to run the table after that Bills defeat. The Bills are going to pick it up. Josh Allen, Josh Allen's been hurt. That's something to point out. He's playing with half an arm. I know the red zone turnovers are problematic, but for the first 3 years of his career, he didn't throw a single red zone interception until the postseason.
Dable effect.
He's lost in the postseason. That's so crazy how that works. You start throwing.
We're talking.
Where are the Dolphins? Where are the Dolphins?
It's December, Jeff. It's Michael Bublé season. We're still talking about the seeding. The playoffs are a different question, but the Bulls are running the ball better. Josh Allen's going to get healthier. Also on defense, Tremaine Edmonds, Matt Milano, Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer, Gregory Rousseau. They all have been injured at the end of the season. They're all going to be healthy at the end of the season.
Von Miller
will be back for the playoffs. And that is a huge loss. Now, my other #1 seed. No one has the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, getting
someone
home field
call
advantage.
Stephen A.
Yeah.
Someone call Stephen A.
Someone
Smith
get Skip
right
Bayless.
now.
He's sounding like Skip right now.
The Dallas Cowboys are one of the most complete football teams in the NFL.
Where's this Cowboy?
The best 1-2 punch in the NFL with Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. Not to mention, they only lost to the Eagles in Week 6 by 9 points, and Cooper Rush was starting at quarterback. And you see on the screen, the Cowboys obliterated the Minnesota Vikings in their building. 4-3 was the score. That's why they have the head-to-head over the Vikings for the 1 and 2 seed, respectively. Also, the Bengals winning the AFC North. No one else has that surprise. They went to the Super Bowl last year, guys.
Patriots at 7, though?
Yeah.
Yes.
The Patriots at 7.
Bill Belichick is inevitable. That's all I have to say for the Patriots.
Eagles at 5.
Offense blows.
Eagles at 5.
Over the
Offense
49ers.
blows.
The
I
Eagles.
love the 49ers. The dark horse of these playoff brackets is the 49ers. Their offense is legit.
Well, it's stacked, and it's
It's
better
legit.
deliver. I'm looking at Jimmy G, and if Jimmy G has the ball, Lord help whoever he's throwing it to.
And CMC
come
now.
on.
George
Christian
Kittle.
McCaffrey. George
well, yeah,
Kittle,
there's a bit less
insane.
when
Deebo
you're
Samuel.
hand off the ball. That
All those
helps a lot.
RPOs.
Sam, really quick, if I start doing a little salsa warm-up dance, do you think I can start for the Cowboys? Because I have no idea where you're going with that.
Listen, the Dallas Cowboys are one of the most talented teams. Micah Parsons, single-handedly, Defensive Player of the Year. I don't think there's any question about that. And the offense, the talent they have, Dak is healthy. They're going to beat the Eagles on Christmas Eve. That's going to be a wonderful day for the DeCoste family, but also a wonderful day for the Dallas Cowboys. It's that time for our final commercial break. But when we come back, we're celebrating the end of the season the only way we can, the return of the Mystery Draft, NFL edition. You won't want to miss this. It's the Box Score Live.
When I arrive at my destination, I am gonna kill Bill.
What? Oh! Okay, cutting. Sorry, can we get some of this?
Where in God's name is the gaffer's tape? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nate.
And I'm Casey, and we're the National Broadcasting Society.
Come out to some of our weekly workshops, or work on some of our sets.
Explore the bigger picture with NBS.
We'll see you there.
All right, let's get another take. Camera, sound.
Welcome back to the Box Score. I'm Sam DeCoste, joined by Jeff Grundy, Cam Manning, Danielle DuBois, and Faith Pinnow. Let's have some fun to end the season tonight. We're bringing back a fan favorite game we've held here on the Box Score, Mystery Draft. Now, for those of you who don't know how the game works, it's all about the stats. Here at the Box Score, we love stats, don't we, guys?
We love them.
Love that.
So we created a game entirely built on stats in a game I like to call Mystery Draft. We're mixing it up a bit this time. Instead of going solo, golf style, our correspondents will be working in pairs. It's all about the holiday spirit. Jeff and Cam versus Danielle and Faith.
Thank you.
We've made a series of, you're welcome. We've made a series of graphics with 2 sets of NFL player statistics who each play the same position. We will have sets for quarterback, running back, and wide receiver. The catch? Our correspondents have no clue who the players are, and neither do you, but I do. Each team will have to pick who they'd rather have without knowing the player's name. After that, we'll reveal who the players are on the screen, and the answers may surprise you. It's part of the mystery. Let's get started. Let's take a look at the quarterbacks and see who you'd rather have. Now, you're looking at passing yards, touchdown interception ratio, completion percentage, and passer rating, all indicative stats of how great of a quarterback you are.
We're clocked in.
You're buzzing in,
We're
Jeopardy style.
Buzzing in.
Who's it going to be, Cam
We're
and Jeff?
picking QB1.
QB1. Oh,
yeah.
Perfect. We're choosing QB2.
Love head-to-head matches on the Box Score. It's what makes Mystery Draft so entertaining. Let's see who you picked. Who did you pick? Joe Burrow and Geno Smith.
Okay, I didn't know he had the highest completion rate. No,
I'm rolling with Geno.
Joe Burrow went to the Super Bowl last year, and he's your quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yep.
the leader of our squad, and he's a dang good one. Let me tell you, Joe Burrow is a
Keep
dang
him.
good quarterback for a dang good Cincinnati Bengals team.
I mean, he has that championship pedigree that we're looking for on our championship level team.
The
best wide receiver.
I'm not gonna argue. We're not
That's
arguing that
great.
Joe Burrow isn't good, but listen. We're rolling with Geno. Make that trend on Twitter.
The comeback player of the year, Geno
rolling
Smith.
with
He has
Geno.
been great.
Comeback player of the year. Y'all have said it on the show, so don't act like you haven't. All right, he's gonna rock our team. It's gonna be exactly what we need. Hashtag rolling with Geno.
One note, Geno Smith leads the NFL in completion percentage.
Yeah.
And he's a great guy.
He's great.
I love Geno
He's
Smith
great.
as much as the next guy. Let's look at championship experience. This is an AFC. Wait, no. Yeah. What am I talking about? Yeah, he won the AFC championship.
That's great. That's great. Is
That's
that this
pedigree
season?
that
Is
Geno
that this
Smith
season?
couldn't even
I just
get
want to
close
point something out. I wanna butt up against the fact that you said our guy's picking up Russell Wilson's bones. In fact, he's not. In fact, he has turned around the
Broncos games
Seahawks.
this year, Jeff?
Yeah, have you watched any Broncos games? Like the Seahawks are like, whoo! Thank God we got rid of him.
Exactly. They won that trade easily.
Boom.
Box Score country, let's ride.
Let's
go
ride.
to the running backs. Let's see the running backs that you have to choose from.
We're ready.
Love me some good running backs. Right?
Well,
We're ready.
A quarterback's,
Henry.
that's
Give
a
me
quarterback's
Derrick
best
Henry.
friend.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you got.
It's like me and Danielle.
Here they are. You have
Oh,
carries.
wow,
you have
wow.
rushing yards, rushing touchdowns, and yards per carry. Let's go a little faster this time.
No, I
All
mean,
right, we're
done,
clocked in.
clock,
Clocked in.
done.
Okay, who's
That's
gonna
us.
be?
We're RB2.
RB2.
I love those
Who do you-
rushing
RB1.
yards.
RB1.
I love the
Okay.
yards per carry. That's a better running back.
Who have you chosen? Let's see. Jonathan Taylor and Travis Etienne.
That's
Is Jonathan
That's
Taylor
great.
good again?
Yeah,
He
I'm
was
good
good
with that.
last year, right? Wasn't he good last year when
Jonathan
Matt Ryan
Taylor?
wasn't
Yeah.
handing him off the ball and fumbling it every 15
He's
seconds?
been getting it back.
Travis
He's been,
Etienne, man.
first half of the
Travis
season, he was not good. I will admit that. But this past few games, he has been getting it back. Matt Ryan seems to know his talent. He goes, hey, if I cannot throw the ball, I'm going to give it to Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah,
he can
it's
do
that or
everything
fumbling.
with it.
Ground and pound, baby. Let's go.
But-
He's running that ball.
But where has he gone? Last year, Jonathan Taylor had 1,800 rushing yards, 18 touchdowns. He has 4 touchdowns this year. Not to mention he was the renowned #1 overall fantasy pick in most drafts. And Jacksonville's #1.
All right,
All the torn
and that's-
ACL.
I'm
He's
gonna
having a great
say-
season after they traded James Robinson.
Yeah,
gonna
no
say
more
second
Urban
half, he's
Meyer.
gonna go
I'm
nuts.
so excited.
Exactly.
Second
Travis
half is going to go
Etienne.
dumb.
Also, you
Let's
can't have
go.
incredible seasons every single season. That's just not realistic at all.
Oh, his name is Derrick
Exactly.
Henry. His name is Derrick Henry, and he's doing great. We can look in the AFC South at someone who's consistently great and has a
He
run
did not
built
All I'm saying
He did
is,
not
start
all I'm
off good
saying
at
is
all.
that I'd rather have Joe Burrow and Travis Etienne than Geno Smith and Jonathan Taylor.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We're building the dream team over here.
We're building a great team.
We're building the dream team.
Oh, yeah.
You say it's impossible to be great every week. I disagree. All 4 of you are great every week.
Oh, Sam.
Silly Sam.
I want to get my wide receiver.
I'm going to get you guys to say that. Okay, let's see the wide receivers now on the screen. It's the focal point of an offense. It's the divas, you could say. Here we have receptions, yards, touchdowns, and yards per catch. A lot to look for in a wide receiver. Who's it going to be? Buzzy.
Boom. That's wide receiver 2.
Wide receiver 2.
All right.
So you're both saying the same plan. It's not as entertaining, but
That's all right.
well,
with wide receiver 2.
let's see who you chose, shall we? Wide receiver 2 is Amari Cooper. You chose him.
I have so much love for Amon-Ra St. Brown. At the end of the day, when you're in that Detroit Lions offense, I mean, you got Jared Goff throwing you the ball.
That's so
I'm so
That's
excited.
true.
I mean, good for you, Jared. Sell your house. Get out of LA. Like, go find a place in Detroit that'll love you.
Well, I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown has to be considered in the next few years. He has the potential to become the best receiver in the NFL. He's an outstanding route runner. He makes the Lions competitive. That is difficult historically.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Also, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he was either a 4th or 6th round pick. He was a deep pick. He wasn't a 1st or 2nd rounder. He was a deep, late draft round pick. He was a diamond.
He knows it. He knows it.
Honestly, he would be a great addition to our team. He would make us more competitive.
No.
That's exactly what we want.
Amari Cooper, he was traded last year from the Dallas Cowboys on his 3rd team already in his career. He was traded only for a couple of draft picks, 2 5th-round picks, and a 6th-round swap. Pretty much for a Wendy's 4-for-4 and a pack of Bic pens, but look at him. He's making the Browns competitive too. He's one of the most unguardable receivers one-on-one in the league.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's definitely dynamite.
I want to strip him from that team. Give me him.
Exactly.
We'll dump the rest of the Browns. I don't really want to talk about them.
Yeah,
I want to talk about how Amari Cooper has that pedigree. I mean, this is
a dog in him.
Coming out of Alabama. He was so nice. I mean, he was the reason why I watched the Cowboys for a bit.
Yep.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, that was the reason why we cared about Dak for a bit. I mean, hey.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah, Amari Cooper, I'm happy we have him.
Jeff, I love our team.
We get a chance.
Wonderful.
We're getting rings, Cam.
Wonderful general managing here. If it's one thing I could say about all 6 players, they all have that dog in them. They have that woof woof. But amazing job, everybody. If there's one thing we learned from this exercise, it's that stats tell the story, but not the whole story. That's mystery draft. Moving back to the World Cup, the U.S. men's national team faced a must-win game against Iran on the final day of the group stage in order to advance to the next round. How did they fare? Jackson Tolliver has the answers.
The U.S. is heading to the last 16 of the World Cup. The men in Stars and Stripes defeated Iran 1-0 in a must-win game to advance out of Group B. The U.S. came into the game with 2 points after back-to-back draws with Wales and England, and having only scored 1 goal. Their opponent Iran shocked the world by beating Wales late in stoppage time in their last group game, meaning a draw against the U.S. would see Iran to the next round. But when his nation needed him the most, Christian Pulisic delivered. The Chelsea man made a late run into the box, blistering past the Iranian back line, and tapped in a cross from Serginho Dest to score the game's only goal.
We show what we can do determination-wise. The guys grinded, they gave every single ounce of energy, and we're undefeated going into the next round.
But the goal came at a price. Pulisic laid his body on the line for the score, his forward momentum causing him to slam into Iranian goalkeeper Alireza Berivan, keeping him on the ground while Americans rejoiced. Pulisic had to be subbed off before being diagnosed with a pelvic contusion. He was taken to a hospital to be treated, but was discharged in time to celebrate the victory with his teammates.
It's a wonderful thing when one of your best players is also one of the hardest working, and he's certainly that. I can't say enough positive things about Christian.
Pulisic insists that he will be healthy enough to play in the U.S.'s round of 16 matchup against the Netherlands. The Dutch also finished group play unbeaten, winning Group A. The Netherlands are considered a dark horse favorite to win the World Cup. 23-year-old Cody Gakpo has scored in all 3 games for the Dutch in the World Cup. He and a fearsome Dutch backline will look to lead the way against the Americans in the round of 16. The U.S. is hoping to make their first World Cup quarterfinal since 2002. From here on out, it's win or go home. I'm Jackson Tolliver reporting for the Box Score.
Thanks, Jackson. Best of luck to the boys as they face the Netherlands in the round of 16. In other news, the Women's College Basketball Hall of Fame has announced its 2023 finalists, including University of Minnesota icon Lindsay Whalen. Faith Pinnow has more.
That's right, Sam. Lindsay Whalen is Hall of Fame bound. The Minnesota legend is one of 5 women who will be inducted next year into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. Whalen played 15 years in the WNBA, and she is one of the most decorated female players of all time. In the pros, Whalen helped deliver 4 league championships in 9 years with the Minnesota Lynx. She's one of a troupe of point guards who redefined what the position could do in the WNBA. In the college ranks, Whalen led the Gophers to the Final Four during her senior year in 2004. But long before she started garnering national attention in college, the way that Whalen worked the floor was always unique. She was more than a solid ball handler and a great distributor. Whalen could score at a high level, and she could do it under pressure, a skill which she developed more and more throughout her time in the league. But her physicality is what really set her apart. She used her size and her speed to finish at the basket in a way that few others could. And now Whalen is back in Minnesota coaching her alma mater. Her 5th season as coach of the Gophers is fully underway, and she's hoping to bring even more championships back to her home state.
Wow, Faith, Lindsay Whalen sounds like an absolute shoo-in for the Hall of Fame. As a coach, as a player, in the pros, in college, is there anything that Lindsay Whalen can't do?
No, I really don't think there is. In fact, she's actually also a 2-time gold medalist in the Olympics, as well as a 5-time All-Star. And on top of it, she started coaching University of Minnesota women's basketball team while she was still playing for the Lynx.
Well, that's all the time we have for you tonight. And if you don't know already, this is my final episode on the Box Score hosting, and it's a very bittersweet night for me, and so forgive me if I'm a little emotional as I close off the show for one last time. But there are a few people that I'd like to thank for making the show possible, starting with our wonderful, talented 38-person cast and crew. Our talent, not to mention our incredible director, control room, stage managers, production assistants, associate producers, our camera operators, our marketing team, our audio and lighting team. We have the best team in the business, and I'm incredibly fortunate and honored to have worked with every single person on this crew. And there are a few people I want to name specifically that were so instrumental with the show and with my growth as a broadcaster and as a producer, naming Owen Conti, Michaela Pinto, Brendan Walker, and Joe Cho. You all joined the show with me, in part because you believed in me, you trusted me, and you thought that we could make something magical together. And I'm grateful that all of you saw that in me, you trusted me, and that we made a really great show together. And I'm incredibly grateful for all our working relationships, and you're also some of my best friends I've ever made at this school. So thank you so much. I want to thank Hannah Brewitt, the last host of the Box Score, for believing in me and hiring me to take on this show and the challenges of it and make it my own. She saw something in me 3 years ago as a correspondent that I'm not sure I saw in myself 3 years ago. And I'm honored that I got to be a part of this show and make the show my own. And it's humbling that I get to pass the torch now to our very own Faith Pinnow. If you watch the Box Score, you know she is an outstanding personality, a natural broadcaster, and my time on the show might be over, but I'm going to become the Box Score's biggest fan for the rest of my life. And I can't wait to see what you do, along with your EP team, Mill and Jane, Gabby Hughes, and Layla Simmons. You're all going to do a wonderful job with the show. I can't wait to be cheering you on from the sidelines. And I want to thank all of you, everyone at home, our friends and family, for supporting us on the show and everything that we do on the show. I want to thank my family. Specifically, I want to thank my mom for always being my biggest fan and for always supporting me and believing in me. So, and I know you're watching, so I love you. Thank you so much for believing in me. I'm going to miss the show so bad. I'm going to miss all of you. But I know the show will live on, and it'll be great, and you know I'll be watching. But that's all I have. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at EIV Box Score. You can also follow me at the Sam DeCoste. And keep your eyes peeled for our next episode for some more red-hot analysis like this. Morocco are making a World Cup semifinal.
Okay.
For Jeff Grundy, Matt Doherty, Danielle DuBois, Faith Pinnow, Cam Manning, and Jackson Tolliver, I'm Sam DeCoste. And this has been the Box Score. I'm out.